Okay. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight. What we are going to do is take this opportunity as um, a group or a team to go around the circle, so to speak, and just share tips or tricks or best practices that you've been using in your business that seem to be working well. I can talk all day long until I'm blue in my face, but we can definitely all learn from each other. So I think if we all just share like at least one good tip that has been beneficial for us, then we can all learn something tonight. So I think that will be good, a good way to kind of round out this group and move forward. All right. So Becky, you're the first one on my screen. So can you unmute yourself and just go ahead and start?
Okay. Yes. So I'll be totally honest. I tried to come up with a list of things that are working for me, but I don't have a very long list. So my main thing that I've been doing differently, I'll just share what I've been doing. I really haven't noticed like if they're beneficial, but I feel more comfortable, I guess. So it's with having conversations, because I know that's been a big topic that we're all struggling with, I think, at times. Mm-hmm. But one of them is like when I start a conversation with somebody, and this is somebody that I know, okay, like a lot of them are my past students. So when they ask me like what I've been up to or how I'm doing, I go ahead and bring up the coaching thing. And I don't invite them or anything like that, but I just tell them that it's something new I started and kind of go into some details there. And so that's kind of my way of introducing it to them, so that it's not just out of the blue, hey, do you want to join my group? So that's kind of one of the things. And it's not just with students. I've been doing that with a lot of people that I already know, not just random people.
I like that.
So that's one thing.
Can I add something to that real quick?
Yes.
Something that I do whenever I'm talking to someone kind of out of the blue that I don't necessarily want to just go up like vomit and invite them right away, but I want them to know what I'm doing. So I will at some point ask them, how are you? And they'll kind of tell me how they are. And a lot of times that prompts them to say back to you, how are you? And then when they do that, you can tell them kind of what's going on in your life. Or, even if they don't say, how are you? Sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's so awesome. I'm so happy for you because of XYZ, whatever they told me. And then I'll be like, things are going great over here too. We've got this and this and this going on. And I'll just throw it into the conversation so that it's out there and they know it. And it sounds like, Becky, that's kind of what you're doing. So I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I do the same thing. So when I first contact them, I don't mention it at all. And I do kind of say, what have you been up to? Haven't talked to you in a while, that type of thing. Or if I know something that's going on with them, I'll follow up with them on that.
I love that.
And then the other thing that I was going to mention was I kind of started doing okay, so when you have a dead end conversation, and I guess I don't mean a dead end, but like when you have a conversation where it's hard to bring the coaching into it because you don't know how to bring it up, I have started doing the kind of the, hey girl, and it's more detailed than this, but do you know of anybody who is just starting on their journey or who could use the support of a group, and directed at other people, not at them. I don't know how well that's working, but I feel more comfortable at least getting some conversations started that way.
Cool. So are those people, so like it's a conversation that kind of fizzled out maybe, and then you later down the road,
yes,
a week or two, are saying, hey girl, da da da, and you're
yes, exactly. So the people that I just couldn't sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Just like so you're directing it more towards like your conversation fizzled out, so you're saying, hey girl, do you happen to know anyone who would be needing support, basically is what you're saying?
Yes. So I say, like, I don't know if you've seen my post on Facebook about what I do as a coach, but if I'm looking for more people to support because it's worked so well for me. And these are people that they're not random people out of the blue. I've been talking to them for the past week or two. And, so we've just had a conversation. It just wasn't about coaching.
Gotcha. So it's kind of really, in a way, it's kind of an indirect invite because you're saying, hey, do you know anyone that
Yes.
might benefit? And I mean, they might come back and say, yeah, me, you never know. But if you're asking them if they know someone, kind of indirectly inviting them as well, don't you think? I like that approach.
Right.
Cool.
So that's where I'm at on the conversations, because that's something I just really struggle with.
I like that. Well, I mean, it doesn't really, you've been so strong since you began coaching, so it doesn't really look like you're struggling. I think you're doing really great. Um,
I know. I think I'm just lucky. I don't know.
no, it takes more than luck. Trust me. If you're that consistent. Okay, Jelaine, I see you next on my screen. So do you want to hop on? You have any suggestions? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Becky, will you mute yourself now?
Okay. Okay. I was just going to say that I have been using TeamZ. I really, really like that so far just because of the way that it throws random people out at you. So not only does it kind of give you goals to shoot for, things that you can check off to make sure that you're inviting so many people, adding new friends, making your posts. But the fact that it throws out random people, there have been some people pop up on my list, and they wouldn't be the first person to pop into my mind to send a message to or to approach about the groups. But reluctantly, I will send them a message, and several of them have actually, like, before I could even get into the whole gist of the Beachbody part of the conversation, they would ask me about the accountability groups and more about the Beachbody program. So that's kind of been cool how that's just really panned out so far. And then right now I'm finishing up my first challenge group, which didn't really have too many go-getters in there, I guess you would say. But I'm pretty excited about my next group, and I am going to use the challenge app for that. So far, just playing around with that, I really like that. I think that's going to kind of simplify some of the posting. And there too, I've kind of contacted all of the challengers that I have to see what their weak areas are. And so they've all really mentioned that the meal planning, just nutrition is their weak point. So I really want to try to be pushing or giving more information on that, just knowing that that's what they need.
Love that. Cool. I have a couple questions for you. So with TeamZ,
Yes.
First of all, I want to say that as a new coach, I really love that you are jumping in and getting started with some of these new resources that are like, obviously like helping you get off on the right foot. I think it's really awesome. I'm like that old, stuck in my old ways. I think I haven't done TeamZ yet. So I have a couple questions for you because I think it will benefit the whole team. So with TeamZ, when you first got it set up, how much of a time investment did you make? You know what I mean? Like going through and rating everyone and all of that stuff. Are you there? She's frozen.
Yeah, sorry, my internet. Am I back?
Yes.
Okay, so really, transferring, they explain how to transfer your friends list from Facebook to TeamZ. And once you have it there, it's not that bad. You just basically go down the list, and I think it automatically puts everyone in at a 3. And then as you kind of browse through, you can see whether you need to bump someone up to a 5 or a 1, or it really wasn't that bad.
Good. Cool.
Plus, I like that I have access to it whether I'm at home on my computer or when I'm at work. I don't have to lug around binders and notebooks. I can access it from my phone too.
Right. Oh, that's nice. So you feel like it's keeping you pretty organized and on top of everything?
Yeah. I've been setting timers to help with things, and I do feel like I'd need to be better at just like splitting up my time and my task throughout the day. Just still trying to juggle and carve out time without driving myself crazy.
Sure. That totally, I think that just comes with kind of getting into your groove and finding your groove with it all. It takes a while, but you'll get there. You're doing great. Okay, so with the second thing you talked about, I loved what you said about kind of um, asking your challengers to identify what they're struggling with and then using that to drive what type of content you are giving them in the group. I love that idea. Um, I'm going to jump in and talk about two new things that I've been doing in my challenge groups. And if you guys haven't like sat and been a fly on the wall in my challenge groups in a while, then you wouldn't know this. But the first, I've been doing a lot of my groups with Jillian as my success partner. I really highly recommend it. If you can find someone that you jive with and you work well with, to look for a success partner that has similar goals to you, because I really feel like the partnership has pushed me to do some things within our team and, like hosting different events and things like that, that I don't know if I would have tackled as soon as we have, just because I had her pushing me and helping me at the same time. You know what I mean? And obviously, running a group with another coach is very beneficial because you can split up the responsibilities. I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I have to let go of some of that a little bit. Still working on, but it's going pretty well, and so I highly recommend checking into that. Two things we've been doing in our groups that I think are really beneficial is during that Getting Started Right week, we've been doing a live nutrition webinar, and something that we kind of adapted from what Tara did in one of her groups. And basically, we tell people up front that we are not experts. We are just people who have been through this process before, who have lived it, who have worked with lots of other individuals, and we're here to just kind of share what we've seen that has worked for us and other people. So we just spend like 20 minutes or so doing a nutrition webinar, just to share kind of, especially what works for us. I share about how I meal plan. I do a notebook and just the way I meal plan. I share all that with them, and then at the end they can ask questions if they want. They're usually pretty timid when it comes to asking questions, and you may only have like 2 or 3 people hop on the call, but you can record it like we do these and then put that into the group. And it's something that you can also leverage with people whenever you're trying to get them to commit to being in the challenge group. That we're going to do a live nutrition webinar, and we're going to have a question and answer session, and we're going to really provide a lot of value. So something you can leverage in your conversations also. The other thing that we've been doing in the final week of the challenge group, so, you have your Getting Started Right week, and then your first week where you're basically just getting into your programs and trying to get into a routine. And then the third week is when we usually do that 1-week mini challenge. The last week of the group, we've really been putting a lot of focus on kind of like what Jelaine said, asking them, what areas are you struggling in? Because, we basically are telling them, our goal for you is to be able to, at some point, take everything you've learned and go do this on your own. Obviously, we're here for you as long as you need our support and our help. And if you want to continue on, you can. But we want to address these things that you feel like you are struggling with so that you are well equipped to do this in a day-to-day, routine or whatever. So basically, we post a post and say, what are the things that you're struggling with? What do you still need support with? And then her and I set up a time to do a Zoom, and it was just her and I, so it wasn't live, but we took all of the things that they were struggling with and we split them up, and then we just kind of went over some different tips and tricks, recommendations that we had to help them in battling those things that they're struggling with. So that is also something that you can leverage and tell people up front. This is what we're going to do. We're going to base what we bring in the group on what you need, not just throwing information at you, but you tell us what you need, and then we're going to bring you that information. So that's something else we've been doing that seemed to be really beneficial. They really liked that. So those are two good things to think about. All right, Brittany, I'm going to let you hop in.
Okay, so I was kind of struggling on what to talk about, really, because I feel like I've been working on a lot of different areas here recently. But one of the biggest things I think that I just want to talk about, or there's two things. First of all, I have really been working on digging deeper into the changes I've made in my life, and just trying to really open up and share that more in my posts, like as scary as that is. Because I think it's important for people to know. I think what I have found from a lot of people is that even though they're in this closed group setting, they still really struggle with sharing, like just opening up and truly sharing and posting in the group. I have found lately a lot of people have been very standoffish with even just checking in the group. At times, like when I talk to them one-on-one, I found out that they have that mindset where they're just so scared of being judged. So one of the things that I've really been trying to do or focus on is really opening up on my page myself, and relating back to like where I was a long time ago in my life and all of the transitions that I've made, and that, if I can do it going from this, you can surely do it as well. Because then in turn, it's been boosting their confidence a lot, to where they're like, people are, even outside challengers or outside people, outside of challengers, are coming to me and they're telling me how inspirational that was to them, or how much they liked that. And, they can really relate to it. Like I've had a lot of people message me and tell me that they can relate to it, and they really appreciate me posting that. And I've also had challengers say that, that made them feel so much more confident in posting in the group and opening up in the group, because it is a secret group versus where I'm posting it for my 1,000+ friends or on, my like page. And they're like, that takes a lot of confidence. And, just, I think sharing those struggles more and more and trying to be consistent about really, really digging deep, has just really shown people that they can have the confidence in themselves to post that and share with the group, because I think that's ultimately what's going to make them succeed in it. So that, I would say, is my first thing. I know it's kind of a little bit different in a way than the typical moving your business forward, but I just think that we always talk about being consistent and sharing your journey. And I think that sometimes we still struggle as ourselves to really dig deep and post that. And I think we have to put it out there, the raw, the ugly, and the truth, and just say, look, like, this is what I've been through, and this is where I am. Like, I know that you may have a lot going on in your life, but you can relate that same thing, and you can really propel yourself forward. So I've just found that's really important, because ultimately it's going to get more people to want to reach out to you. I think that that's one of my struggles with sometimes, is I still judge myself, and I think we all do. Like I get worried that people are just going to think, oh, well, she used to drink a lot, or she used to party a lot, so I don't want her help, type of thing. So I think just kind of showing people that no matter what kind of background you have in your life, you can really change it, kind of thing, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense.
I totally agree with you. I think that the more you share and the more vulnerable you get, the more people are going to relate to you. The more real you are, the more people are going to be drawn to you and relate to you. So I agree with you there.
And then my other thing is, I know one of the things we've kind of all talked about is the more we build, the relationships, and we form conversations, and get, like, I've been using Team Z, like Jolene mentioned, she is too, and it kind of prompts you to message all these random people. In doing this, I feel like you get through your power hour faster, and you start to have a lot of conversations going on at once, and it does take up a lot of time, which at first I was kind of letting that stress me out, but I have really started to learn to really just be genuine and really compliment them a lot. I have found that complimenting even more than I used to, like kind of almost to the point where you're going over the top, I was always scared to go over the top because I thought they were going to be like, oh, this girl's just being fake and she's just wanting something. But like really just trying to dive in and be that over the top kind of compliment to people has really in turn to like people have started to open up to me even more because they appreciate somebody that's going to listen to them and not go run and tell their secrets, I guess, you know, or the things that they struggle with. And I've just had a lot of messages coming back from people lately telling me how much they truly appreciate having somebody for the first time in their life to really listen to them and like hear their problems out and like even talk through them with them. And it's not even necessarily related to Beachbody or, you know, fitness. Like one girl recently was getting married and everybody in her fiance's family was just really flat out rude to her and like just a lot of stuff with the wedding, and she was stressed out. And so I just like listened to her and, you know, offered advice to her. And I think that that's really important too, because she was nowhere wanting to spend money or buy, and she ended up buying like the week of her wedding because she just appreciated all my support and everything. You know, it was like, I don't know, it's just one of those things. Like I understand that being strapped for cash right at your wedding. So like that just, it's something that I've found that is working for me. I've had a lot of people like start buying when they were like, I can't afford it, because they realized how genuine and how much support I was offering to them on a daily basis.
I love that. And even if they don't end up buying right now, you can bet that you're going to be the person they come to when they are ready, because you've been so genuine and just really been a friend, you know? I like that.
Yeah. So those are kind of my couple of things. I know they're kind of a little bit different.
No, I mean, I think
but sometimes I think it's back to the basics.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good to kind of get a good, like a potpourri of different topics and stuff that we can all benefit from. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, so I guess I'll take my turn now, is kind of doing every once in a while a self-assessment, okay? You know, we talk a lot about how consistency is the key to being successful, just being consistent in the small daily activities over time. It's a lot like your fitness journey. You know, you get up, you get into a good routine where you're doing your workouts, you are working on your nutrition, and you're staying on track because you're doing that stuff every day. And really, this business is like that journey, just on a different level, right? Be consistent over time in those small daily behaviors and you will be successful. So one of the things that I think it's important to do is to take a self-assessment of yourself and kind of step back and evaluate if you are doing those things, how often you are doing those things, and that type of thing. So one way that you can kind of do a self-assessment would be like, for example, through your posting. So maybe once a month, you could say, okay, I'm going to do this self-assessment and look at your page, whether it's your personal page, if you don't have a like page, or your like page, whichever, or both, and look at like the last 5 to 10 posts and just pay attention to those last 5 to 10 posts. If someone were to visit your page and look at your last 5 posts, what would your post say about your priorities in life? What would they learn from you in the last 5 things you posted? Would they know that you're a coach? Would they know that health and fitness is a priority in your life? Would they know that you have support groups or accountability groups that you offer? If you look at your last 5 or 10 posts and you're not seeing that type of information, then that's a problem. Then probably the people that you are friends with aren't getting the big picture. They aren't figuring out what's going on with you. I heard a statistic a while back that said your friends, however many you have, on average see 1 out of 10 posts. Think about that. They see 1 out of 10 posts. That's not that many, you know? So, I mean, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but it's obviously true on some level that, you know, all of your friends aren't going to see all of your posts. So that is why it is so important to be consistent with your posting and be, making sure that you are posting about the things that are priority to you. So I have really stepped up my game with my posting on my like page. And I actually had, I had Heather, who I have working for me like 2 hours a week. She actually made me a posting schedule. I told her, these are the types of posts I want to be posting on different topics. You spread them out over a week's time, and you tell me what time of day to post. You tell me what medium to post in, like am I posting a picture? Am I posting a link? Am I posting a video? So she has that all scheduled out for me so that I know that if I just follow that every day, I've got a good rotation or a good variety of my different kinds of posts. And I'm not going to say I follow it to a T, like especially with the times, but if she has me posting several times a day, I'll just go in the order that she's got listed there or whatever. So doing a self-assessment, kind of circling back, doing a self-assessment of your posts is something I want you guys to make a regular practice. Because if you're not seeing those types of things in your posts within the last 5 or 10 posts, then that's a problem. People need to be seeing that kind of stuff from you more often. You know what I'm saying? So that would be something that I think would be great for you guys to take away from this meeting and try to do tonight or tomorrow, just to see, kind of a little test. You know what I mean? But you can do self-assessments in all areas of coaching, really. You could be logging your personal development. You know, I did 10 minutes of this today. I did 20 minutes of this the day before, or whatever. That would be a good way to kind of track to make sure you're staying on track there. But just with everything that coaching encompasses, you need to take a step back from time to time and evaluate, am I doing the things that I'm doing? And I will be completely honest, one of the things that is super important in coaching is to be inviting to coaching. And that was something that for a long time I was letting slide. It's kind of the most uncomfortable thing for me out of everything that we do. And so I wasn't making it a priority, and I kind of let it slide. So I had to do that self-assessment and kind of be like, okay, Kristen, you've got to make this more of a priority. And so I came up with a little strategy to make it more of a priority so that I can make sure that I'm doing that each week. So that would be my biggest recommendation for you guys tonight. I don't think I have anything else. I did want to mention that Tara has a sneak peek into coaching going on right now with Mindy Wender, who is her upline coach. So these two women are like super crazy successful in Beachbody and have a lot of passion and excitement built around it, and are both, stay at home, work from home moms because they make so much with Beachbody. So they just have really great stories. So I would really encourage you guys to go out and invite a couple people yet this week and just try to get a few people in there, because I'm telling you, when those two people, like her and Mindy or her and Micah, are together and do these kinds of things, they just like work magic. It's amazing. So it's Wednesday to Friday, and they also have some really great prizes that they're offering. So definitely look into that. I posted the link for that in the team page. I also posted the link for Tara's team call that was Monday. So check those things out. Anybody have anything else to share? Or are we good? Can you give me a thumbs up?
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
If we have time.
Yeah, we have 7 minutes.
And I don't want to hog the time. So if anybody else has a question, please let me know. You mentioned having the success partner, and I was just curious, do you recommend having someone that is at the same level as you, or that, somebody that's higher up, or that you mentor someone, or like, what do you recommend?
I recommend that I don't think you necessarily have to be at the same level, but I highly recommend that you have similar goals. I'll just share with you a little personal story. Still have, technically, I basically have 2 success partners. The first success partner that I had whenever I first got started with coaching, she's wonderful. She's still a coach, but she's just growing her business at a much slower rate than I am. And that's okay because that's what works for her. But there was nothing about our relationship that was pushing me or driving me forward. You know what I mean? Because our goals were different. And so you need to find someone that is going to have similar goals to you, but you're going to push each other to kind of get outside your comfort zone a little bit and do things that maybe make you a little bit uncomfortable, but are going to grow your business. You know what I mean? So that's what I would recommend. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then are you still doing the food journal in your challenge group?
Yes.
How's that working? And do you do it every day or?
Okay. So here is our thought process behind that. At first I was reluctant because it's more work for the challengers. And I was like, I don't know if they're going to want to do this, but everybody has really embraced it and nobody has complained to me about having to do it. And the thing about the reason why we decided to do it was because these groups, if you really think about it, are about equipping people to be able to carry out these practices, these routines, once the group is over. Obviously we're there for them as long as they need our support. They can continue in the different groups. But we want them to have the routines in place so that eventually they can go out on their own and do this. And so if you think about it, once these accountability groups are over, rating your nutrition, maybe that's valuable. Post an accountability group, maybe it's not. I don't know. But if they're in the practice of keeping a food log, you can see how that would be beneficial, right? So we are doing them every day. And what was your other question? How's it going? I think I think
so every day you do your normal check-in.
So they check in. So they do their food journal plus what workout they did, how much water, and then if they did any type of personal development. So,
okay.
Yeah. And we tell them that all of that, what I just explained up front, we want to equip you guys with these best practices or routines so that you can be successful beyond this group. You know what I mean? And I've had several people tell me that like past challengers that did a new group with me where they then used to have to rate their nutrition and now do the food log, say that it's really opened my eyes. It really helped me step my game up a notch. When I had to write it down, I was realizing how many times I was actually cheating in a day and that type of thing. So I do think it's been beneficial for them.
Makes you think twice about having a box of Oreos.
Yeah, because honestly, when you're reading the nutrition, it's like I can have XYZ, but I don't have to tell them what I ate. I just have to tell them my number is a 5. But when you actually have to, even especially for us coaches, it's like, shit, I can't tell them I just ate 3 donuts. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly. Yes.
We've been doing it.
Maybe that'd be good for me
too, and I've had a lot of people tell me that they really like it because it lets them see other ideas of like what to eat too. Like when they read other people's, like they said that they've actually been engaging more or like reading other people's comments more than before because they're like, oh, I'm curious like for some new ideas.
Yeah, I agree. I've had several people tell me that too. The one thing I will say though is as the coach, I know I've shared with you guys before that like 2 or 3 times a week I would really read through all of the check-ins and kind of give some feedback. And, I always like what they post, but sometimes I'll just like it. And then sometimes I will go through and it makes it harder because it's a lot to read as the coach, but it is what it is. All right, we have less than a minute. Can you guys, I'm going to take a picture of us. Can you stop what you're doing and look at the camera and hold on one second. Wave. Ready? Hang on one second. Okay, I'll send you guys the picture. You're all like, thanks for hopping on, you guys. It was a good call. Have a good night.
Thanks. You too.